Welcome to the Soulfire Podcast, where every day we talk about real life, real shit, real raw. On this show, you can expect us to dive deep into topics like marriage, parenting, money, business, feeling like you want to give up, fighting for yourself, just straight soul healing. This podcast is all about life. Hey there, it's Power Coach Alicia here, your source of fun, funny, exciting, entertaining, and educational life coaching, transformational speaking, and soul healing. We're talking about setting your soul on fire. I specialize in helping women put themselves first without feeling guilty, getting out of their own way, and finding themselves again. No fluff, no hand-holding, no bullshit here, just love, light, and peace as we journey through this thing called life. Do you ever look at other people and think, holy fuck, if I would have just kept going, if I would have just kept doing, if I would have just stayed consistent, I could be where they are or even further ahead, even higher, more successful, more money, more whatever, like energy, power, happiness, love, whatever it is, right? Do you ever look at other people and think that? Well, it's interesting because in the last couple of weeks, I've been on this okay, what is it that you really want? Like, what is it that is the problem? What is stopping you? What has held you back? Where does the challenge come from? What is the issue, And one of the things that I found out is that it never, ever, ever has been that I didn't want to be a direct sales coach. Now, it was news to me, right? It wasn't that I never wanted to be a direct sales coach. I've said that millions of times. I swear to you. I never wanted to be a direct sales coach. I always wanted to be a speaker. If you listen early in this podcast, I'm sure that I said that in telling you my story, right? And the truth is, it wasn't that I never wanted to be a direct sales coach because it wasn't on my radar, right? It wasn't what I was going for. It wasn't my dream and my passion and my love and my fire, right? That's all true. But my biggest issue for being a direct sales coach has always been, now this might make you laugh, so stick with me, because someone told me it was what I should do, and I listened and did it. For all the years, 9 years of being a direct sales coach, I was pushing back against it because someone told me that I should do it. And because it wasn't my idea, reminds me of my youngest, I felt like I had to do this. Like I felt like I was being forced to do it. And so therefore I was always pushing back. This isn't what I want to do. This isn't my dreams. This wasn't what I was born for. This, this isn't what I want, right? I always acted as if I was being made do something that I didn't want to do. So I was constantly wanting to fight against it and run away from it, believing that this was never what I wanted to do, and I'm sick of this shit. But the truth is, I've always loved being a direct sales coach. I have. And when I stopped for 9 months this year, I lost a huge part of something that I loved. And I was thinking about this time of year and how much I love coaching direct sellers at this time of year and helping them build their businesses and all the mindset that goes in with it. And then I realized that was the problem. I thought I was forced. If you don't know a lot about me, I have a huge issue with authority. When I first got my driver's license at 16 years old, I lost it twice before I was 18 from speeding, right? Rules. And I swear I was always in court fighting speeding tickets or tickets for whatever, I don't know, subwoofers, dark tinted windows, no license plate on the front of the car, you name it. I got a fucking ticket for it, So my teachers, when I was young, I was always getting kicked out of classes because I was always challenging them and what they said and their rules and whatever. So I have always had an issue with authority and being told what to do. So this comes to light when I'm feeling like I'm missing something so much. I'm doing life coaching and it's feeling great. I'm doing this podcast and it's feeling great. But something that I really love and excites me so much at this time of year is missing. And then it hit me like a ton of bricks. It was coaching in the direct sales industry. And I thought, what the fuck? You literally spent 9 months not doing it, telling everybody that you're not being a business coach anymore. You're following your dreams as a life coach, da 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 da. And now you're saying that you miss it. What the fuck? And then it was like this, well, why? Why has this been? And then all of a sudden it just came to me, right? So I'm in this like journey of like rebuilding what I want my business to look like for the life I know that I want, while also rebuilding what I want my life to look like alongside of Daniel and his dreams and what he's doing and traveling and what we want and what that looks like and how we fit in and like all of these things, right? And while I'm doing this, I'm looking at, holy fuck, if I would have just kept going, if I would have just stayed consistent, if I would have just not given up, if I would have not let myself get out of my flow, I would be so much further ahead. And then look at somebody else and I'm like, see, like they're doing so good and they're so successful. I know I could be there. I could be way past this. And the universe has been bringing people back into my life, coaches that I used to listen to clear back in 2013, 14, 15, when we had all started our businesses right at the same time. And this one coach, she's a money coach and I love her so much and I have all of her books. And she says, I have a $5 million a year business and I'm so excited to grow it bigger. And I think to myself, sorry if you can hear my dog whining in the background. I think to myself in that moment, I literally started a year after her and I'm starting over. Comparison. Frustrated with myself. If I only would have. I know that you've been here. I know you know what I'm talking about. I know you know exactly what I'm saying here. And that's what today's lesson is for you. As Anthony Robbins always says, comparison is the thief of joy. And I remember that quote all the time. Comparison is the thief of joy. As I've been working today and just getting stuff done and setting stuff up and making it better and tweaking this and that, all I've thought about is how if I would just do this, then I would be there. If I would just take that action, then I would have already been. Why did I do this? Why did I do that? If you just do this the way this coach says to do it, even though it doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel good, it's causing you angst, you're going to get there. You're going to be successful. You're going to make that 100,000, 200,000, 300, whatever it is, because that's the path that they got there on. And if you follow that path, you're going to get there, you know? And then meanwhile, the last 2 days, actually, I've had a lot of angst in the processes and how it's done. And it's actually less work than what I do on a daily basis in my business right now. It's less work than what I have set up as my sales and marketing plan and value and showing up. It's way less work. And it's more stability for my company. It's more diversified and it's less of just me grinding. But when I look at it and I analyze it, it feels so disconnected for me. And that's what's so important, right? Comparison is the thief of joy, but comparison also leads you to taking action that doesn't light your soul up, that doesn't feel good, that you don't feel connected to. And then you're already so far into the action, into the doing, and to the creating to be like said person or people that now you can't get out of it. Isn't it time that you stop sabotaging yourself, stop being everything to everyone, and actually do the work to find yourself again? Because I am here right now inviting you to take me by the hand and say yes to yourself, because you're either going to stay exactly where you are, feeling the way you feel and continually spiraling down, or you've had enough and you're ready for a change. My amazing Soul Circle program is exactly what you need in order to get the bi-weekly dose of power to fight for yourself a little more and to move to those next levels of your personal power. It is an implementation-based personal growth accelerator that helps you go from feeling powerless, disconnected, exhausting yourself, being everything to everyone else, letting yourself go, barely hanging in there sort of life, into putting simple processes in place, using tools and strategies that help you step into your personal power, unleash your inner badass, and put yourself first without feeling guilty, unapologetically authentic. Soul Circle is all about helping you renew, rebalance, rebuild, reclaim, rekindle, and recharge you. Soul stands for set a strong foundation for your mindset to create a harmony in your life. Overcome what really has you stuck so you can free yourself of guilt and people pleasing once and for all. Unleash your inner badass. Live as the person you know you are instead of editing yourself for those around you because you feel like you have to. And then learn where to invest your time so that you feel peaceful, connected, and like you again. This is a life acceleration membership that's implementation based with support, no excuse accountability, and a community of like-minded women who are finding themselves and stepping into their power as well. Soul Circle is for you. If you're sick of procrastinating, fear failure, you don't ever feel like you're good enough, you are full of self-doubt, you are constantly sabotaging yourself, you feel like you need to people please, you put yourself last, you feel exhausted, overwhelmed, and stressed, you continually give even when you have nothing left, you wear your strength as a badge of honor, but you also feel defeated, and you are a fighter, yet sick of fighting because you don't know how to stop. And it's definitely for you if you're pissed off, frustrated, overwhelmed, annoyed, scared, and you can't seem to wrap your head around when you got to this place or how you got stuck. I would love to welcome you to my Soul Circle membership program because it is exactly what you need to continue taking those consistent steps forward to shifting your life, stepping into your personal power, unleashing your inner badass, and yes, finding yourself again. To learn more and sign up, go to soulcircle.life. Again, that's soulcircle.life. Because now you're knee deep in it, or you feel like you can't get out of it because you're knee deep in it. And now I have to do this because I started it and I'm already going and I'm already doing. So there is no going back. There is no changing. But the beautiful thing is when you realize when you're at the beginning, the way your feelings are starting to shift. When you realize that as you compare, you start to do things that are against what feels good and lights up your soul and you're connected to because you want, quote unquote, what they have. And you feel like the only way to get there is through their path. I am a very big creature of step-by-step processes. You tell me exactly what to do and I'm going to do it. I see that you've gotten there and you've made it and you've succeeded. So if you tell me exactly what to do, I'm going to do it because you've already done it and I'm not going to edit it, right? So my comparison comes from, I see that you're there. I'm learning your steps. And I know that if I take your steps, I'm going to get there too. My challenge always comes from going, but how does it feel? How does it feel as you're thinking about embarking on starting the processes of those steps? Do you feel connected? Does it feel good? Are you ready? Are you lit up? Are you fired up? Are you like, hell yes, this is what I want to do? Or do you start feeling angst and your stomach is turning and you're starting to get a little panicky about how it's going to fit into your schedule and the structure of it and how much time it's going to take up away from your family and your kids that, is that where it goes? Right? And so this isn't to say that I can't build a multi-million-dollar business free flowing with ease and peace and spending the quality time with my family and my kids that is so fucking important to me right now. I have never in my life felt so strongly about quality time specifically with my children than I do now. And hardly ever do I let anything encroach on that. And in the past I would, but I literally have 6 more years before my 12-year-old's 18, 2.5 more years before my 15-year-old's 18. My 15-year-old's going to spread his wings and fly as quickly as he can. And my 12-year-old, I don't know, maybe he'll hang out, right? I don't know. But I want to enjoy every single one of these minutes and be here for every single one of these milestones and these times together and the minutes that we get together, right? And so I'm so particular about how everything is done and how I'm building everything and the action that I take forward. For the last 3-4 weeks, maybe even a little longer, maybe 6 weeks, I have been working late nights, 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, sometimes 11 or 12. However, I knew in the design of what I was doing, once I realized how much I missed direct sales coaching, that for a short amount of time, 3-4 weeks, that I was going to be grinding like that. But I set my calendar out in a way that I could see as soon as that would lighten up and as soon as that would shift. And I would have more of that free time and space. And that's now, it's already starting to be lighter and freer. But then here comes that comparison. Here comes that training. Here comes that coach who's, doing it $500,000 a month. Holy fuck, yes. I want that. No, just give me 30, 40, 50. 30 is amazing, right? Just give me 30. What's it going to take for me to get 30? He says, well, before we built a team, we did what we're teaching and we did $70,000 a month. I thought, okay, there's 3 of them in this business with this coach. Like, okay, that means that on average, you guys did about $23,000 a piece. So then I started looking at it and running the numbers and running it back. For me to do that, $23,000 that they're talking about, I'm on the phone 4 or 5 hours a day and closing into business. And I thought, yeah, I'm amazing at it. I can do it. I know exactly how to do it. The processes and all the things. I've done it before. I've got it on lock. And it's so funny because the thought of being on calls like that 4 or 5 hours a day and selling into a program that would be fucking amazing and awesome gave me angst, where right now I'm working 6, 7-ish hours a day. So more time, less money right now. I'm like, this is good for me. This feels good. This is where I want to be. Oh my God, Alicia, what's your point? I hope you guys are getting my point, but listen, if you're not getting my point, here it is. Always, always, always go with what feels good right now. That business model is absolutely something I love and absolutely something that I will be scaling my company to be. I love the business model. I have done a portion of it before, but right now, that's not what my soul needs. That's not what I'm connected to. And I almost allowed comparison to steal my joy in thinking that that was the route that I was going to go because of what I saw. So I want you to look in your life and I want you to ask yourself, where am I comparing, even if it's to yourself, that is stealing my joy and causing me or about to cause me to make decisions that I am disconnected from, that I don't feel good about, that is not what I want. Even if it doesn't look right, like it looks like more work, it looks like more hours, it looks like more time, it looks like more grinding. If that's what feels good, then do that. Because when I think about getting on the phone 4 or 5 hours a day, 4 days a week, and yeah, definitely making probably my $30,000 a month goal, to me, I feel disconnected. I think, yeah, but what about? And as soon as I feel that way and I feel this angst and I'm like, it's too much for me and I don't really want to do it, that's not my path. So instead of letting this comparison steal my joy, I say, what parts of this can I take and use to add to what I'm already doing to continue down the path that I'm on that feels really good, that I feel like is manageable, that I feel like I'm connected to, that I feel like feels good to me for right now? What parts can I take and implement and use that are the best for me in this moment? And then I'm going to take those and I'm going to use those for now. But I have the entire process and structure and system for when I'm ready to scale and go to the next level that is best for me. I can tell you that comparison to myself is always, my past self and past success always kicks my ass a hell of a lot more than comparing myself to other people. But I can tell you that comparing myself to other people is a very close second, and it's an absolute work. I was going to say battle, but it's not really, because it's an absolute growth process that I'm always working through. And I can tell you that this is the first time that in my growth of the comparison between comparing to my past self success and other people's current success, where I've stopped and said, no, I'm going to stay the course. I know it feels good. I'm on this track and it's all going to be okay. And I want you to trust yourself as well. I want you to say, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to stay on this track. And yeah, maybe that doesn't mean you're not going to buy a course or join a thing or da-da-da. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it doesn't mean you're going to do that. I'm saying what it means is you're going to make sure that those steps that you take still feel good. The angst, and there's difference, right? There can be a little angst because they're uncomfortable. But when angst turns to more turmoil, that's when you know that it's wrong. So don't get me wrong when I said the angst thing. I know what my angst means. That mine has different levels. One is uncomfortability. One is like, I don't know how the fuck I'm going to do this. This makes no sense to me. I don't have the infrastructure. I don't have the time, the processes. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be on. That's wrong level. Angst like, oh man, this is going to be a chunk of work, but it's going to be worth it. That's what I just learned from my last coach that I went through. It was like angst, like, fuck, this is a lot of work to get the baseline and understand. But I still went forward because it felt right. It felt good. I felt connected, right? So don't misunderstand what I'm saying there. I really do hope that you loved today's episode. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for listening to the Soul Fire podcast. I truly appreciate you taking out your time to be here. I would love it if you would subscribe and share. And at the end of each episode, head over to community.soulhealingzone.com. Again, that's community.soulhealingzone.com, and share with me, what was your number one takeaway? What really connected with you? What got your fire lit? What was something that you absolutely loved about this episode? I cannot wait to continue creating more episodes with you, connecting with you, and helping you through this journey on this thing called life. I'll see you later.